2 losses. There it is. Another losing season. Or is it really just another losing season? Good morning to you. Good Monday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins, where you found this. Reds 4, Pirates 2, and that's it. That's officially 82 losses. And if I stopped the show right there, I wouldn't be painting much of a picture, would I? Because less than 24 hours before that, also in Cincinnati, Pirates were losing 9-0 and ended up winning 13-12. Scored the next 13 runs, then fended off a late rally. Carmen Wojcinski facing down Ellie De La Cruz, the wunderkind, the dozen pitches to get him on a K. That's beautiful baseball. With a guy 90 feet away? You kidding me? That's beautiful. What the Pirates have done over the last 2 months is to perform at an 85-win pace. That's okay. 20-8 in April. That also was okay. It's those middle 2 months that kind of need some massaging, you know? But overall, the one thing that I think everyone would agree on that was going to be most important this season was improvement. Improvement in the standings doesn't necessarily equate to the kind of improvement that you want if you're a building or rebuilding team. And I have concerns, very, very real concerns about the handling of some of the younger players, the outright bungling of Henry Davis, seeing Roansy Contreras just fall apart, Luis Ortiz going backward, other younger players mostly just kind of plateauing or going a little bit backward. And those are real issues that aren't going to get resolved by changing the hitting or pitching coaches. It's going to have to be done internally, and it's going to have to be proven as a result that these people can get the most out of the talent at hand. But I think here again, seeking an area in which everyone would agree, I believe, the talent's at hand. It's not perfect. It's not World Series caliber, but it's at hand. There's enough here for the team to make a more serious move in 2024. That alone, all by itself, is to Ben Cherington's credit. That I don't feel is even up to opinion at this point. Once you couple what happened in April with what's happened over these past couple of months, and again, even digging in individually, those are positives. Going into these stadiums that the Pirates have over the past couple of weeks, facing contenders, facing them in front of large crowds that are hanging on every pitch, and you can feel it in there, and then prevailing, those are scenarios that can't be concocted. They can't be created in a simulator tube in Bradenton or something. You can't have Wojcinski act that out in a different setting, what he did a couple nights ago. You can't. All of these things are boxes that are checked. They're important, and they matter a lot more even than the result, meaning the overall result that's in the standings. Derek Shelton said on this trip that he's proud of this team. He should be. He should be. It's so easy. Even if you're trying not to, it's human nature to just say, we're almost done. Let's just get to the finish line. You know, we've already got these vacation plans for this place or that place. And what you've seen here isn't just kids or hungry peripheral major leaguers. That's when it doesn't matter. Okay, just to throw a name in, this isn't to be mean, but like Miguel Andujar has no choice but to perform at his peak level because he's looking for work. Josh Palacios has no choice. A good handful of these guys are in that bracket. But when your offense is being led consistently by Ke'Bryan Hayes and Brian Reynolds, who are set for life, that's different. That's very different. When your pitching staff is led still 6 months in by Mitch Keller, by David Bednar, that's different. That's another category. That speaks to culture. That speaks to an entire clubhouse of players who want to win. That speaks well, go ahead and say it, of the manager. Nah, come on, I didn't hear you say it. Say it. It speaks well to them. Okay, there you go. But because it does. It does. Yeah, he does some wacky things. He could be more consistent with his lineups. He could be a lot better in the later innings of games and how he manages the bullpen. But this speaks well to Shelton. It just does. I'm going to say this again. I'm not making any kind of predictions or forecasts or anything like that for 2024. I have and feel that I'm entitled to grave concerns about the quality of the hitting coach and the pitching coach. And if those aren't solved, most of the rest of this doesn't matter. But what the Pirates have done over these past 2 months, this is good. This is a positive. This reminds me of conversations I used to have with Bill Mazeroski. I know some of you have referenced 2012 when the Pirates first started to show themselves before 3 straight playoff appearances. Others have referenced 1987. That was the year Barry Bonds came on. And you could see that there was a climb toward those 3 division champions that they'd have in 1990 to 92. But Maz described the teams of the late 80s well before I was born. And that description that he'd offer was so much more in line with this than anywhere. He said you could just look around and see that we were getting there. And then we started believing in each other. And that turned into wins. And they didn't feel like they meant much at the time because we still weren't going to win the pennant. And remember, only one team in each league made it to the World Series. So let me rephrase that. Only one team in each league made the playoffs because the World Series was the playoffs. And that led, in his view, directly into everything that happened in 1960, including the crazy World Series that no one thought they would win, and of course, ultimately, the greatest moment in Pittsburgh sports history. But great, okay, go ahead, raise the bar now, raise the bar. When we come back, J1Q. This portion of Daily Shot of Pirates is brought to you by our friends at North Shore Tavern, that's directly across Federal Street from PNC Park. It's home of Steak on a Stone, an eating experience, underscoring the word experience. The steak is brought to you partially cooked on an 800-degree stone, and you do the rest. It's a ton of fun, it's a great meal, and it's a baseball atmosphere like no other in Pittsburgh. North Shore Tavern, right across Federal Street from PNC Park.
Your front door, your car, your bike, your computer, your gun. Safety is a habit. Every day you lock and secure your home and everything you want to keep safe. Gun safety and responsible storage are no different and the best way to help prevent accidents, misuse, and theft. If you have a firearm, own it, respect it, and secure it. Visit ProjectChildSafe.org. Brought to you by the National Shooting Sports Foundation and the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Today's J1Q comes from Mike, who says, submitted in good fun, DK, but do you, as in we, owe Andy Haynes an apology? This is an easier question to answer than you might think, considering how well the Pirates have performed in general for a while now. No. Let me share with you, at least from my perspective, because you threw in the we there. How you feel about it is up to you. But from my perspective, I don't live in the future. I don't do this job to make predictions. I do it based almost entirely on what's already occurred. And what's already occurred under Haynes has been, in the broader sense, a massive red flag. Okay? And by the way, for those of you who get really tired of the Haynes stuff, I didn't bring it up here. Mike did. All right? But it's already happened. It's in the past. It's on record. It's got data. It's got video. It's got everything behind it because it's behind us. So when I criticize somebody, or for that matter, praise them, it often gets interpreted as a prediction. Aha, you think this player's going to be terrible, or you think this guy's going to be great. No, I'm just going over what's already there. So Haynes' results to date, overall, including and most notably his instruction of younger players and his ability to get people out of slumps, has very much come into question, very justifiably. And look, I'm not Ke'Bryan Hayes, who had to run off to Altoona to get John Nunnally to help me out. All of that's there. My belief, based on the information, not just related to Haynes, but also related to Oscar Marin, is that the Pirates can do a hell of a lot better for their instruction at those two particular positions within the organization. They are pivotal positions. And you should have, or at least strive for, the best of the best in those two spots. You really should. I could make an argument that they're more important than the field manager. And don't laugh when I say that, because they're impacting directly performance. Manager isn't doing that. Manager's leading. Manager's filling out a lineup card. These guys are directly impacting what you see on the field in one direction or the other. Now, here's the other part of this. And this is the part that people really don't get, at least as far as my role goes. People do get better or worse. This is true in life. It's true in baseball. So if Haynes, I don't know, I'm just going to make this up, reads a book about how to become the best possible hitting coach for a left-handed hitter who's struggling with change-ups that are on the outer part of the plate. That book, you go ahead and search it on Amazon. You'll find it. It exists. It actually doesn't. But if he reads that and just becomes a better hitting coach for it, great. What am I going to do? Say, no, he still stinks? Heck no. The same thing goes for Marin. If he takes some sort of class on the biomechanics of pitching, which he's allegedly already an expert, and he figures out why Roansy Contreras went from throwing 98 miles an hour to now 92 miles an hour, even though he doesn't have an injury of any kind, great. Hats off, man. I'm not here to overthink this process. But you got to show it. It's not a prediction. It's not a forecast. It's about what's already happened. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everyone listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. Going to do another one of these tomorrow.